Hi friends, welcome to today's Spanish lesson for court interpreters. Let's begin. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will render a true verdict according to the law and evidence submitted? It's a long one, as you heard, so we're going to break it down into some key terms here. Swear or affirm, that's very interesting. That's called a legal doublet, when in English sometimes it sounds repetitive, swear or affirm. And swear or affirm, we could say juran o prometen. For a true verdict, we could say un veredicto justo. And when evidence is submitted son pruebas presentadas. So submitted in this sense, presentadas, when they're formally submitted, son presentadas. So altogether, a possibility here, juran o prometen solemnemente todos y cada uno de ustedes que rendirán un veredicto justo conforme a la ley y las pruebas presentadas? Again, different ways that you could say this, but I wanted to highlight some of the key terms here so that we could just study more together. Another term. The foregoing example is for an insurance bad faith case. So again, we find ourselves here in a civil suit. Insurance bad faith case and foregoing. So foregoing is anterior. So now we know at least what direction foregoing goes. But even if we don't know what bad faith case is, we can make some educated guesses. But as long as here foregoing we remember is anterior. Altogether, we could say this as el anterior ejemplo corresponde a un caso de mala fe de una póliza de seguro. Slip and fall. Just a second in case you want to try. A possibility, resbalón y caída. Our next term, the plaintiff says that the defendant was negligent and violated the law by failing to stop at a red light. The plaintiff and defendant, if this was a criminal case, do you remember instead of defendant would stay the same? Oh, there we go. Defendant would stay the same, but plaintiff, if this was a criminal case, it would be the prosecution says, not the plaintiff says. So just by hearing the plaintiff says, we know, oh, this is a civil case. The plaintiff says that the defendant, and so here, el demandante afirma que el demandado. If this was a criminal case, defendant, do you remember how we would say that? El acusado. But because they mention a plaintiff, we know this is a civil case, so it would be wrong to say acusado for defendant. Because it's a plaintiff, defendant here es un demandado. So altogether, el demandante afirma que el demandado fue negligente e infringió la ley cuando no se detuvo en una luz roja. And so you could tell that this is pretty high register. So instead of says, solo es decir o dice, they're saying afirma. It's a little more higher register than just a regular says. It is the duty of every operator of a vehicle to exercise ordinary care at all times to prevent an accident. So duty here puede ser tu obligación, and ordinary care son los cuidados ordinarios. Altogether, we could say this as, cada operador de un vehículo tiene la obligación de tener en todo momento los cuidados ordinarios para evitar un accidente. All right, friends, and we're just going to go over one more term today, which is medical negligence, negligencia médica, just to give you a sneak peek of what we're doing in the next video and encourage you to follow along so you can learn more together and we could all study. Thank you so much, friends. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.